Welcome back to another episode of Caps Off by the Game Day. Happy Monday. Hope everyone enjoyed their week 8 and their Hollow weekend.
Hey, how was your Sunday?
It was great. Sunday was great.
It's awesome.
CD Lamb.
Yeah.
Zach.
Rain.
Rain. Well,
All
rain
right,
has never stopped raining. Never stopped
No,
raining.
it is pouring
Rainy
in New York
weekend.
City, actually.
Yeah, always. Every weekend.
Yeah.
What about you, Jack? How you doing over there, bud?
Well, it was actually this past week reported that the San Francisco Giants, it's almost baseball season again after the World Series. The San Francisco Giants will be the front runners for Shohei Ohtani and will not be outbid for any players that they pursue.
Congratulations.
So that's great. Steph and the Warriors came back yesterday on Sunday. Of course, that's the one Bay Area team that I watched personally. They came back against the Rockets on the road.
Congratulations.
Chris Paul played well. Chris Curry dropped, I think, 20 in the fourth quarter.
Chris Curry.
Chris Curry. Yep. Chris Curry. Steph Curry.
That dude's crazy.
Did you see that highlight of Steph just like embarrassing Dylan Brooks? Did you see that play?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I did see that play.
It was insane.
What about Chris?
There's nothing else on.
Chris didn't play great.
Wait, no, but he just said Chris played well.
Chris Curry also plays really well.
Shout out Chris Curry.
There's
Steph
nothing else.
Paul?
I'm actually a big fan of Chris Curry.
What about Steph Paul?
Steph Paul's not bad either.
Yeah,
It's kind of hot.
Matan, what about you? How was your weekend?
Not
How was
great.
Sunday?
No, it was fine. I had a good time. Happy Halloween weekend.
Yeah.
What about Sunday? What about
happened
yesterday?
this week.
Sunday was fine. I got to watch some other games. Dolphins, my fantasy team did
The
well.
Chargers Bears
AJ
game.
Brown,
Chargers
Yep.
Bears.
Yep.
Tyler Bagent.
Imagine. There was nothing else significant that
Agreed.
possibly happened.
The
yesterday.
Giants
I
didn't
agree.
play. The Niners didn't play.
No.
But
bye
good,
weeks.
Good thing they didn't.
Bye
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
Moral weeks.
Moral victories, moral victories.
Kinda hard, though.
Nope.
I'll be honest, there was zero moral victory for the Giants.
For you, I actually don't think I have any either.
Zero. But Daniel Jones is back, so there we fucking go. Now there's a bright side, right?
But
right?
The moral
that
victory for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
How
Woo!
bright is that?
Daniel
What's on?
Jones, so
Yeah, it was
right,
clear
yeah.
This morning. It was clear this morning.
The moral victory, it's not even just for you, it's for the country, is that the country got to see Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
Tommy
Agreed.
DeVito.
We got to meet Tommy DeVito.
New Jersey
This
kid
guy fucking special.
built for New York.
You see that picture of him when he was in Illinois last year?
No.
He's in the wife beater. He's in a black wife
black
beater,
wife
which
beater.
is super Italian.
I need a picture
There's
of
the
that.
white ones, but the black one's even more Italian. And he's got 2 chains. One of them just says TD.
Oh,
for touchdown and Tommy DeVito.
Oh,
He's probably boys with Gio, honestly.
Touchdown Tommy DeVito. Tell me this guy.
Okay, yeah, that's Italian.
Let me
as fuck.
see.
Yeah, dude.
That's as
It's
Italian
insane.
as it gets.
It's insane.
He looks
literally-
straight
literally-
out of The Sopranos.
I was gonna say that picture literally looks like
it's right out of the
it's
show.
insane.
Also, just in case someone forgets what your initials are, you wear TD on your
Well, that
on your
and because
chain.
he throws tutties.
Ooh,
He rushed for a
except
tutty
for
yesterday.
yesterday.
He did. He rushed for one.
rushes
He
for
rushed
You
that.
know who else scored a touchdown yesterday?
No one else.
See me for Hoko.
Oh, friend
Let's
of the
go,
pod.
CB.
See me. We've been rooting for you all year, brother.
See me. I mean,
He comments on one of our TikToks one time, and we're like, "This is our fucking."
Yeah,
guy.
but we're the biggest Simi fans ever.
Oh,
We
for
are.
sure.
We've been
Is
beating
there
up
another
number one.
podcast that talks about Simi Faloco?
No.
There's-
but we do.
no.
I
In-depth
guarantee you,
analysis.
there's not one.
We're putting that guy on the map. Caruso texted us. He was like, "I never heard of this guy before you guys."
Nick texted me too. Nick,
Yeah, that's our boy.
Because people just aren't in like the cut like we are. We're deep in the trenches.
Talk
about
with
knowing
this
ball, man.
Analytical.
Exactly.
Woo, talk about
congratulations,
ball.
CB,
Shit,
man. We're so happy for you.
I'm actually so pumped for Simi. His 4th career catch was a touchdown.
Yeah.
So his 8th will be his next touchdown. Does it double? Is it the 5th one? What happens next for Simi?
No,
Faloco?
he's just gonna keep having his first catch of every game he plays. It's gonna be a touchdown.
Ah,
Oh,
so
from
he's
here
gonna
on
get
out.
cut, and then
We don't
he's
know
gonna
how
go
many
to
of those are gonna be, but
He's on
Yeah.
pace for a great career. I will say that.
yeah, if you look at last night as an example, it's pretty good.
Yes, career starts now
Yeah, exactly.
in LA.
Well, last night.
Last night.
Forget Dallas. He doesn't need Dallas on his resume.
He doesn't. No,
Doesn't.
unimportant.
But let's get into some football.
Yeah, it's my
This is
favorite thing.
Overreaction
We
Monday.
should talk about like all the games except for like 1 or 2 of them for sure.
Yeah,
we-
I just don't think we have time to hit all the games.
No,
Exactly.
exactly.
Totally don't.
You're right.
Uh,
You're correct. You're absolutely correct.
We have a lot to talk about. We're gonna go through a bunch of teams, and we're gonna give an overreaction or something we've underreacted to based on what happened in Week 8.
Okay.
So I guess we'll get right into it. Let's talk about the Eagles.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that we could talk about when it comes to the Eagles.
Not
The
off the
Eagles
range.
having the best record in football. So what's an overreaction? What's an overreaction or something we've underreacted to about the Eagles?
We're underreacting to Jack's response just now to finding out that the Eagles are being talked about before the Niners. So I just wanted to call that out there. That really took me a
Is that a
couple
good
seconds.
thing or a bad
That's
thing?
great.
Okay.
It took me a couple seconds.
We're not gonna
Let's
talk
keep-
about the
Let's keep
Niners.
postponing.
Okay, we will.
Yep.
Yeah, save the best for last. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'd like to issue an apology to the 500,000 people that watched the video of us saying AJ Brown wasn't a tier 1 wide receiver in the NFL. When I say us, I say myself, Felipe, and you, Matan. I'm issuing this apology on our behalf because AJ Brown is 1,000% a tier 1 wide receiver.
Said
He
that.
is playing like he's
said it.
second best, if not the best wide receiver in the NFL. He has solidified himself in that top 3 conversation, I think, right now, based off the way he's played. I want to apologize, okay? Because we put Cooper Kupp in there.
Apologize to me
Jack,
too. Thanks.
I'm incredibly sorry from the deepest depths of my heart for saying that AJ Brown was outside of that tier 1 realm of wide
I told you
receivers.
guys he absolutely
I
was.
was-
I don't know why you didn't put him there, but
I was wrong,
thanks, dude.
but I like to admit my faults. And one of my faults is that I do like to overreact. And at the time, Cooper Kupp was coming off a massive game. So I'm going to overreact right now.
No, he wasn't.
Cooper Kupp?
It wasn't a massive game.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Fine.
No,
It was his
I'm,
second-
I'm
it was his
okay
sec-
with you putting
it was his
Cooper Kupp
first
there,
game
but
back.
not
No, it was
putting,
like his
but not
second
putting
game.
AJ Brown there was
It was Cooper Kupp's like
genuinely
second
absurd.
game, and he off of the hamstring, and then put up another 130. It was like, okay, this dude only knows how to put anything above 125. But then AJ Brown has gone 6 straight games with 125 plus receiving yards. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, Adam? You're a fucking idiot.
Oh,
Agreed,
wow.
agreed. You didn't say it. You said it. I didn't.
I said it.
You stole the words right out of my mouth.
AJ Brown is fucking
Dude,
absurd.
only player ever to have 6 straight games with 125 plus.
Yeah, that's
Really?
wild. I
Yeah.
can't believe
That's
that.
crazy. Yeah, he's
That's
on a
nuts.
crazy tear.
Megatron never did that. Jerry Rice never did that. Julio never did that. Like, that's just fucking crazy.
Dude, he's on a tear, man.
He's just
I'm happy and honored.
specimen.
Happy
He,
and
he
honored
just
to
needed
have
to
him
get
on
the
my
fuck out of
fantasy
Tennessee
team.
for everyone to realize how good he was. Like,
Dude, him getting traded to the Eagles is the best thing that's ever happened to his career.
to him
Oh,
and the
yeah.
Eagles,
100%.
like,
The Eagles lucked the fuck out. I mean, they
Whoa.
knew he was a beast, but he's been better than you could have expected him to be.
Well,
He's
he
been
had these
so
types of
good.
moments he had
Yeah, he
moments
did.
in Tennessee, but he was
Even as a
surrounded by
rookie, he
poor
did.
talent and
I-
had Ryan Tannehill.
It's
Honestly,
just-
I think since he came in the league, you could tell he had the potential to be like this alpha wide receiver one, just
Oh
because
my
like
God, yeah.
the physical attributes. But now, like I don't think there's any more of an alpha wide receiver one than him in the league right now.
Nah, he's one of those
Like
guys.
an alpha X.
He feels
Tyreek is a whole different
No, I agree with
category
you.
of
I
player,
agree
but you know
with
what I
you.
mean? I feel like AJ Brown's by far the best alpha X.
We were talking
receiver.
about it off the pod. You were
Yeah.
saying that it does feel like AJ Brown is the closest thing to the alpha wide receivers like a decade ago, or even maybe
He's
like
the
5
Yeah,
closest
to
thing
10
we've seen
years ago.
since Megatron.
Yeah.
Like
Or
Well,
Like that type of guy.
Well, he feels like what Julio used to be. Scores more touchdowns than Julio, but Julio was better than he is now. But AJ Brown is
No,
great.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
in
I
that.
agree with that.
AJ's in that top tier for sure. I don't think you can say undisputed top 3. Like he's not, because like Stephon could go crazy for the next 2 weeks, and now you're gonna.
no,
No, I don't think he's
no.
undisputed. No, I don't. No, hold
I
on.
don't think those. No one. I don't think there's a lot of guys that could leapfrog him right now. I think the only person you can definitively say is there's only 2 guys you can say that are better than AJ Brown. And I'll let you get away with it, and that's Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson. Those are the only 2 wide receivers in football right now. I will be like, you know what? They're better than AJ Brown.
But
You tell
why-
me anyone else, I don't think you can
Why
say that.
though?
Look at this body of work he's
No,
put through this
the body
year.
of work this year. I agree with you, but
That's
then
what I'm
Jettis
saying
also
right now.
hasn't
He's got
played.
AJ Brown had an awesome year last year, and he's gotten better.
But Jettis also
It's
hasn't
true.
played this year as much because of the injury,
When
and we're
Jettis played,
still
he was
keeping him
fucking
there.
awesome.
But Stephon Diggs has been arguably the most consistent wide receiver in the NFL over the last like 3 years, and
Yeah,
he's on pace to have his best season yet, and we're not even talking about it.
I understand, but he hasn't put up the numbers that AJ Brown's doing right now.
Well, no one has.
He's
I
not.
agree
He's not.
with you.
He's not as big of a physical threat or presence that
Yeah, it's not
AJ
his
Brown
game.
is. Like,
Yeah, but that's not his game.
okay, and just because I'm just saying, I think AJ Brown's better because of those physical attributes as well.
Should we read
Like, and the statistics.
I see. Yeah, I mean,
I don't
wide
think-
receiver wise, like you have to look at teams.
There's guys that are
we consider
pure
teams for
crisper
quarterback.
route
Like
runners.
if
sure,
Devontae
but-
Adams wasn't in Las Vegas, if he was with any other great quarterback, he'd still be number 1. And so
I
I
don't
understand
agree with
like
that.
putting AJ Brown ahead of him now, because like you can't argue with the stats. That's fine. But body of work is beyond just this year. It's also the past few years and what they've done with different quarterbacks in different situations. AJ Brown has been really good, and I think he's in that tier 1 conversation. But to say undisputed top 3, that's kind of heavy. Because like
I'm not putting him
in
my top
2
three.
weeks,
Undisputed.
in
I'd
2
easily
weeks,
do
he
that.
goes for under 50 yards, which last year AJ Brown had a great start to the year, and then he got outplayed by Devontae Smith for the rest of the year after this in the second half of the season.
Still an
That could happen
insane
again,
year.
and then by the end of the year, we're gonna say, okay, AJ Brown's definitely in that tier 1. but he's not a undisputed top 3. You can only say a guy's undisputed top 3 if they maintain that for a long
Which
period of
receivers
time.
are you personally taking over AJ Brown right now? Then?
Right now?
Would you rather have Stephon Diggs or AJ Brown?
Aside from circumstance, or like
No, just who would you rather have?
Would you rather have Stephon Diggs or AJ Brown?
I think it's up in the air. I don't care, but I'd rather have Devontae. Jettas, I'd probably rather have Jettas.
Jamar?
They're very close.
Obviously,
Toss up Tyreek. But that's what I mean. Tier 1 for sure. I don't think I can say undisputed. I'll take him over Cup. I'll take AJ Brown over Cup.
That's fair.
I think the only 2 guys that I would take over him right now are Jettas and Tyreek.
And Simi.
And Simi Fehoko, of course, friend of the pod, and River Craycraft.
But I don't think that's an unpopular opinion or a hot take to say that AJ Brown isn't an undisputed top 3 wide receiver. Because again, like the top 5, even the top 7, like when we kept him out of the tier 1,
top like 5 to 6 is super
like there are probably 8 elite wide receivers in the NFL right now. Like
the way the CD's playing right now too, he's bumping himself up to tier 1.
Like there are some high level wide receiver 1s and alphas in the NFL, and there's so many differentiations between like these alphas, right? Like AJ Brown, super physical, Tyreek, super fast, Jettis, route runner, Diggs, route runner. Like there's so much. Would parity fit into the word of the amount of the types of wide receivers? It's all over the place because one guy can do that. One guy can do that.
Yeah.
One guy will do both of those.
Yeah, but they still have to be like overall, like body of work is so important. What they've done, right?
I agree, which is why I think you and
which
I both
is why
put
Puka
Diggs
Nacua
there.
isn't a top 10 receiver.
Yeah, of course.
And so AJ Brown's on a crazy tear right now, but he could go for 3 games, and we just can't get ahead. We just can't get ahead of ourselves.
6. He had 6
that's
straight with
insane.
125 plus.
Insane.
Like,
but
insane.
I think
and it's not like he wasn't balling the last year in Philly or the years before.
He's been great.
Like,
he's
that's
a
I don't
tier
think that's like to be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL is crazy. Like why is there such a different, like why do we have to say he's either top 2 or nothing else, or top 3 and
top
nothing
5
else?
is great.
Because people and we love to just debate the rankings, man.
That's
Like,
true.
fun.
There could
Yeah,
just be, you're right, because there could just be,
we all have different rankings.
Here's a group. They're all the same, right? And like you can prefer who you want within
Yeah,
that
but it's
group.
like, but pick between them.
Exactly. Yeah, we got to pick between them.
That's the whole point. That's literally what we do.
The receivers are deep. I will say that.
Yeah.
Does AJ Brown deserve to be in the MVP conversation?
No,
Definitely not.
I don't think any receiver can ever be in the MVP conversation.
Yes, they could.
I think if
Antonio Brown
Tyreek-
should have won in 2017.
I think if Tyreek goes for 2K, there's a
real
Yeah,
case.
if you're the first person to ever go for 2K, yes.
There's a real case.
Especially because you've seen how much Tua has elevated his game because
I
Tyreek
still
Hill.
don't think that he will win it.
I
Like,
agree.
If he goes for 2K, Tua is probably winning the MVP.
There's
That's
more
my
of a
thing.
case.
I agree with that.
Dude, would he deserve to be in the conversation? Sure, absolutely. But like, it's a quarterback award. We know that. Or
Yeah.
running back that rushes for 2K.
Yeah.
So
Let's move it to other teams that
Oh, wait, I have an underreaction real quick with the Eagles.
Go for
real
it.
quick. We were underestimating what you could do out of the tush push. formation.
Oh,
That reverse out of the tush push little counter.
Yeah, that was nice.
Sick.
you knew that was coming too at some
At
point.
some
nice.
point,
The
they're going
whole-
to draw something else up in that, and then now the tush push is going to be even more unstoppable.
You know what
because
that
people
is?
are going to
You know what-
wait just in
You
case
know what
for
that
contain.
is? It reminds me of, this is a baseball thing, so I'm sorry. But it's like
course,
when
we're
you're
seeing that.
pitching and you throw 8 straight fastballs and everyone's just expecting a fastball every time.
Yeah,
and
and
then
then
you,
you throw the
hit him with
Little
a
slider.
just a slider right down in the dirt. and
Dude,
they-
yeah.
you get it. Oh,
Or
man.
just a nice change back.
Change
foot,
back
that's
you
just
know?
that's
That's
just
what
good pitching, man. It's like it's good play calling.
Dude, the slider change
Yeah,
back.
you
foot.
think one thing's
Move
coming?
fast, change speeds.
Yeah,
know?
you got Jacob DeGrom, right? Throwing 102 miles an hour, 5 straight pitches, then bang, he
Bang,
throws that
he
slider.
Shout out
slider
the
down to
Rangers.
75
Yep.
miles an
Yeah,
hour.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Exactly. That tush push is just good pitching. That's what
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
good. Pitch.
Yeah, but they brought it out at the wrong time. It was 32. They already had the lead by a touchdown. They were in the red zone. Like,
Yeah, but
you
it
probably didn't have to bring
scares
it out
you.
right there.
No,
I would
but
have
now-
held
but
it.
now-
I would
now
have
the
Now
held
you
it.
have it on
scares
tape.
you.
But now
you
the
have it
rest of
on
the
tape.
league sees this and they're like, God, fuck.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
You could have brought it out at
this
any
isn't
week.
a
and
one
it's like,
play.
shit,
And they could
yeah.
go either way with that bitch now, too, because
Oh.
there's 2. Oh, my God.
Let's talk about some other teams that we might have an overreaction for or underreacted to. The Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, the Packers are a bottom 5 team. in
The
NFL.
Packers might be, they
Survivor
are
guy.
horrible.
They're one of the worst teams
They
right
are
now.
horrible.
They did not win a game in October.
The Packers?
The Packers were 0-4 in October.
Yeah, they
They
suck.
look like the worst
Jordan
team.
Love sucks.
They look like one of the worst teams
Their
in the NFL.
defense sucks.
Yeah.
Matt,
LaFleur,
I said maybe LaFleur is an Aaron Rodgers merchant. You were saying that yesterday
I
during
did
the
say
stream.
it. I did say it.
That's very pop. Dude, it's so frustrating watching him try and call plays for that offense that doesn't have Devontae or Aaron Rodgers anymore.
It's also just so frustrating.
Like-
Okay. Who's the best weapon on the Packers on offense?
Aaron Jones.
Okay. And what happens when you get inside the goal line? Who do you put in?
AJ
Not
Dillon.
Aaron
Yeah,
Jones.
but
Not Aaron Jones.
Dylan's a better goal line back.
What? Because he has bigger quads?
Yes.
What have we seen from
Absolutely. That's
AJ
exactly
Dillon
why.
That is
to
the
ever
qualifier.
prove that he is a
His
good
left
running back?
quadricep is as big as your torso.
That's fine. I
It's
have
awesome.
a big torso. It makes sense. I'm just saying we have not seen anything from AJ Dillon in his professional NFL career that he is good at outside of playing that farming game that he streams on Twitch.
He's a dog, though.
He's crazy. No,
What?
he's crazy. I don't know what
You
it's
never
called,
seen
but
that?
Like
he-
Farmville?
He's,
Yeah,
is
it's
it Farmville?
Farmville.
Yeah.
He's a
Legit
dog.
Farmville?
Yeah,
He's a
streams
dog. He's
Farmville.
crazy. His agriculture game is crazy.
Yo, you should see his
Who we
farm,
talking
bro.
about?
His
AJ
crops.
Dillon. AJ Dillon is
That's so
fantastic
funny.
at the works of
Better at
agriculture.
football than we are. So
No, he's better at
You didn't see my
agriculture
JV
than we
highlight.
are. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I've seen it. We've all seen it.
did.
I just think
Yeah,
the
no, y'all see
Packers,
my
like,
JV highlight.
it just makes no sense to me at all. Maybe Jordan Love clearly is not the guy. He looks terrible. But yeah, Aaron Jones is your best weapon, and he got what 10 touches, I think. The
You know
entire
what, Packers fans, you know what? You deserve to be miserable at this point.
agreed.
You went from Brett Favre to fucking Aaron Rodgers. You kidding me?
You've had 20 plus years of
Do
glory.
you know how many I had to deal with CJ Beathard for a season,
Yeah,
all
but
right?
CJ's a
For
dog.
fuck's sake.
But CJ's a dog.
Shout out Iowa.
Shout
But-
out.
God damn, dude. Like,
Waving
it's,
to
you
the
know what?
hospital.
Everyone I know that is a Packers fan, all of them are from Chicago, first of all. They're not even
Really?
from fucking Wisconsin.
That's
yeah.
weird.
Phonies, fakes,
Good
frauds.
cheese, though.
All you guys are all
Triple F.
Packers fans because you're close to Wisconsin and you grew up close to there, but the Bears are really bad. And oh, my dad
No,
is
they had
from
Aaron
fucking
Rodgers.
Madison. That's
That's-
still 5 hours away from fucking Green Bay.
I feel like that's
And all you've had was
always the
Brett
Packers
Favre
fan.
and Aaron Rodgers, and you're spoiled. You deserve Jordan Love.
Yeah.
I would have give up on Jordan Love entirely.
He
Yeah.
stinks.
He doesn't do
Nah, he doesn't stink.
He is ass.
He's played
Nah.
6 games. He's played whatever,
He
8
is
games.
fucking terrible. He might be the worst starting quarterback in football.
That's not true.
No.
Oh my
Whoa.
God, he
That I don't
sucks.
Who would you
agree with.
rather have,
That
Jordan
is-
Love or Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson.
No, you would not.
you would.
At
Bro,
least
you
he
put
has
Jordan-
sacks.
No.
You put that's right.
I can't confirm if Jordan Love is. He's in Green Bay. Do they have women up in Green Bay? I don't know.
Oh
I
my
genuinely
God.
don't.
Good point.
Oh my God.
I will.
Holy
Jordan
hell.
Love on this Jets team probably going crazy.
Probably
Probably
going,
not.
Yeah,
probably going
facts.
insane.
Actually,
Probably does
I
the same
agree.
exact
I
thing.
actually
not
take
true.
it back because I think they have weapons in Green Bay. Like it doesn't make any sense to me that Jordan Love and that team cannot score points. I don't think they've scored a
Do
first
they have
quarter
weapons?
touchdown in 4 games.
I don't know if they have that great a weapon.
Neither do I.
And it's
I've
also-
just heard Adam beat the drum about Romeo
Yeah.
Dobbs and Christian Watson, but he also did that
Nice.
with Calvin Ridley and with Bijan Robinson. And
Well,
so
Ridley
I don't
also
know
put
what
up
to
a
believe anymore.
1,500-yard receiving.
I don't know
season,
what to
so he is
believe
pretty
anymore,
fucking
you
good.
know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Romeo Dobbs is
So-
also. I mean, yeah, they're good.
Where's Christian Watson?
Christian Watson also had 9 touchdowns over 7 games last year. He's pretty fucking good.
Last year.
So how bad were the Packers last year then? Because like they were bad, obviously. They were worse
Yeah.
than we
So
thought.
I
They
feel
lost some
like-
big games, and we said that Rodgers has kind of fallen off a bit, whatever. Apparently, the Packers were just not that good last year, and obviously they downgraded from Rodgers to Jordan Love, and this
It
is
was-
what you're saying.
It was a
They probably
combination
don't have
of-
their team sucks. If Jordan
was-
Love is in a good situation, he's much better than Brock Purdy. Let's be real, because he's got the tangibles that Brock Purdy doesn't. Okay,
bro.
but you need to put him in a situation for him to be successful, and he hasn't been in that yet. And so, like, you can't really judge a quarterback. I can't say he sucks. Like, other quarterbacks, like, suck. Like, Jordan Love, like, he's not playing well, but he's not playing well in a bad system.
It's fair. I get what you're
I
saying.
can't get back. I can't.
There's a
get past
drive-by
that one
shooting
comment.
about
Yeah.
Brock Purdy.
That's insane.
Got in and got
Oh
out.
my
Why
God.
do we gotta? What?
Well, because I just like comparing quarterbacks in good situations. It just is what it is.
I don't think the Packers situation is that bad.
It's not. Well,
not
it's
bad.
not
Clearly
bad. But last year,
pretty
the
not
Packers
good.
were bad, right? Like, and
Not
this year they're even worse.
Not necessarily. They
They
were
almost
like,
made the
they were
playoffs.
bad.
It took
It's a
to the
pretty,
last
missed
it's a
game of the
pretty
year.
similar
They missed the
roster
playoffs.
outside of Devontae Adams, which is obviously massive. It's a pretty similar roster to a team that was the number 1 seed in the NFC 2 years ago.
But last year,
But last year, Aaron Rodgers was hurt and wasn't bought in, and there were rumors of going out.
but
Like,
forget all that. Rodgers was there, and they missed the playoffs. That was the most disappointing Packers season in a long time.
And now
And we said that Rodgers had fallen off potentially. Like, like he's not the same, and this is whatever. And then Rodgers leaves, and now this team is even worse. So potentially Rodgers was the only thing keeping them average last year. And if they were even average. That's all I'm saying.
No, but he wasn't playing well. Like
I think I don't think Jordan Love is playing well. I think the
not
system
playing
in
well.
Green Bay is not as bad as a lot of other systems in the NFL.
That's
I just
true,
think
too.
Matt LaFleur right now, it makes no sense that your best weapon on offense is seeing the ball less than 15 times a game.
That's also true.
It's fun. It's so funny. They're still better than the Bears, even
The
though
Bears
the
are
Packers
so
are
bad.
so
but here's
bad.
the issue, and I've always said this, and I know everyone's going to disagree with me on this. Like,
They're not
I
as
wanna
bad
s-
as the Bears.
I want to say teams are like when I say a
They're worse.
team is worse, I'm saying that because they have weapons. Like the Bears don't have anything, so naturally they're going to be
Yes, they
fucking
do.
worse, right?
They have just DJ Moore.
Yeah, he's great.
Okay, but the Bears have absolutely nothing, so naturally they're going to be worse. But when a team has some
Dude,
pieces
Deontay
around you,
Foreman scored 3
to be a
touchdowns
bad
last week. What are
team
we
doesn't
talking
make
about?
as much sense, bro. What?
I
Cole
think the
Kmet?
Packers are actually
Cole
worse than the Bears
Kmet?
because they have talent and they underperform. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do too. I'm
Say
just
it
giving
real
you
quick
shit.
then, just to get.
No,
get
he
your-
just said it.
get
The
your word
Packers.
out.
Felipe said it for
Say
me.
it. Say
Yeah.
it. Say it.
I think the Packers are the worst team in the NFL because they have weapons.
Are they worse than the Giants?
Whoa.
Yeah, because the Giants don't have anything. So like the Giants naturally are going to be bad. But when
Oh,
you have weapons and you're fucking
They're the
ass,
most underperforming team in
Yeah,
the
that's-
league.
but it
yes,
sounds
yes,
way
yes.
better when I say you're the worst.
I got you.
But they're not.
In October they were.
Good point.
It's true.
Okay.
Inarguable. Can't argue with the
0-4.
We're
numbers.
about to piss some Green Bay fans off, man.
Uh, let's talk about an unlucky week for the Minnesota Vikings, losing their guy Kirk to an Achilles injury for the season.
That sucks.
Bad for the Vikings. Bad for Matan's fantasy team trying to make some trades now.
Bad for anyone that owns like Jettas.
Yeah,
or
tough
Addison
week
or-
for the Vikes. What is an overreaction to the Vikings losing Kirk Cousins, or any underreaction?
I got.
Kirk, right at this point, just fucking punt on the season.
I
don't know.
actually think.
Kirk might.
I actually
the
think-
Vikings would punt. Should
yeah,
punt
the
on season.
Vikings should.
I actually think Kirk Cousins getting hurt is the best possible thing for the Minnesota Vikings.
Wait, why?
because then they can rebuild. I know you're getting that.
Oh, because we were already saying they
There's
should
something
rebuild.
about being stuck right in the middle. And they're what, 4-4? They started 1-4 or
Right, they
something. They've
weren't
rolled
great.
off
Yeah, they're on
3
a
straight.
fucking tear.
They were on a tear, but
Yeah.
you also like the Lions are in that division. If you're not going to win the division, Kirk Cousins on the last year of his deal. Are you going to re-sign Kirk Cousins? You've said you don't want him as your quarterback. You're in a perfect opportunity to potentially get a generational quarterback with a generational wide receiver. That doesn't come around often. Usually it's one or the other. Usually it's a wide receiver you can go get, but we saw it with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. You got the quarterback. Now you went and got the wide receiver. In this instance, the Minnesota Vikings can punt on the season, trade some of their assets. Their defense has looked better. You have Jettis there. Jettis needs an extension. Go draft Caleb Williams and look what that
Bro,
franchise
how are
can
they
do.
going to do that? They
How-
already they have 4 wins.
Yeah.
The Panthers are going to lose a
The
shit
Panthers
ton of more
don't have their
games.
draft pick.
Yeah, and that's
And the-
goes
the
to the
Bears-
Bears. The
and the
Bears would
Bears-
gladly take
And
that.
I don't think the
They
Bears,
probably would.
I don't think the Bears should take Caleb Williams if they have the opportunity, because you can go get an offensive-minded head coach and build around Justin Fields. Bad franchises stay bad franchises because you
I-
don't build around your quarterback.
Okay, I agree
Justin
with
Fields is a
that,
good
but-
quarterback.
But I also feel like this draft pick that the Vikings are going to get, let's say they lose out, right? They're 4-13. That's probably still like the 3rd or 4th worst record in the league.
Yeah.
I think
you could
Caleb
trade
Williams is
up.
probably going to get either someone's going to trade up to try and get Caleb Williams,
And
or
I think that could be the
and
Vikings.
I also don't necessarily think that Caleb Williams is the answer. Like he's an unproven guy that's going to be a rookie next year.
Okay.
Like I don't under,
But what about even a Drake May or any of the quarterbacks? Can you
I
go
don't-
get a quarterback in this draft? Yes or no?
you could you could it's probably the deepest quarterback draft class in a long
That's
time.
my point.
But at the same time, Kirk Cousins, you know what he is. He's a good fucking quarterback. You
But
can
the
win
Vikings
games
have
with Kirk
said they're not
But
Cousins.
gonna
how old
re-sign
is
him.
Kirk Cousins now?
Yeah, I
coming
know
off
he's
an
older, but like
Achilles.
I don't know what the Vikings are doing, to be completely honest.
I just think what Adam's trying to say is like the Vikings were already thinking about moving on. There was all these talks about moving on
Yeah.
from Kirk already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's hurt. He's gonna be done for the year plus. Like
He'll be
The
unless
Vikings-
he's on some Aaron
almost
Rodgers
end of
shit,
next
but
year,
like
bro.
that's not gonna happen. So it's time. Like now is the time to think about a quarterback for the future. We've had Kirk Cousins for what 5 years now. He did great things for us. Like
Ish.
Kirk is still a good. Yeah, he's whatever. He
Ish.
played well. He took him to the playoffs a couple times.
Yeah.
Like good serviceable quarterback.
Right.
Like maybe it's time to move on.
I just think Kirk Cousins' injury is a blessing in disguise for the Vikings. Like you,
Potentially.
Could be.
I
It
just
could
think
happen-
that it could be
happen
right or
earlier,
wrong.
probably.
Yeah, it would have happened.
It
earlier, but
depends how
they're-
quickly you think you can contend, right? If you think you can contend right now, like I don't know how they're feeling after this.
But
hot
before
streak
the
and everything,
Bengals
but-
got Jamar Chase, did we know that they can contend right away? They
Hell
leaped
no.
up very quickly because they
Yeah.
added like an alpha weapon to
Yeah,
a quarterback
but
that
Joe
was
Burrow got
disgusting.
hurt the 1 year he didn't have Jamar, right? He had
Yeah,
his
his
rookie year, yeah.
And then they
Yeah,
drafted
yeah.
Jamar. They had a top 5
Yeah,
pick.
yeah.
So now you already have that top 5 wide receiver, that top 2.
Yeah.
And now you can go get
It
a
would-
quarterback who
yeah.
coming out is very similar to like Joe. Joe put up the stats and everything.
It
but
would
the
help
comps-
having Cap, the rookie deal.
That's what I'm saying. I just think it's a blessing in disguise. That's all I'm saying. Like you wouldn't have made that move if you kept winning games. You're 4-4. You still have Kirk. You want Judge to come back. That's
it
all
does
I'm saying.
suck though because they probably end up making the playoffs this year. But long term, I guess, yeah.
Who is the backup quarterback for the Vikings?
It's named Nick. He's on
Mullins is
IR.
hurt, yeah.
It's like Jarrett Hall or
Vikings
some
depth
shit.
chart.
Jared Allen or
I don't
something.
know. I know that they
Jared
drafted Kellen Mond a couple of years ago.
It's no one. They don't
Yeah,
even know
they
who the
did.
quarterback is
They
going
have
to be in
they have
Minnesota.
Jaron Hall.
Jaron
is their
Hall.
second
Who is
string,
that?
and then Nick Mullins is on IR.
They don't know who
Those
their
are third
quarterback
I know
is.
legend Nick Mullins, by the way.
Yeah, I just think they were on a. Well,
feel like
I
TJ
agree with you on the
Hawkinson
bigger
could
picture
swing it.
because they're not going to compete in the playoffs. They're going to lose. Kirk Cousins is never going to win in the playoffs, and so I agree with you in the bigger picture. They were about to go on a playoff run right now, though. So I kind of
Yeah,
they
they
were
were
looking
Vikings
good, especially-
fan. Like they won
It
some
hurts.
big games.
Dude, Kirk was balling, man. Like his
But
stats were nice.
But he's right in his standpoint that like they would get to the playoffs and then they would lose. And
Honestly, Kirk
Cousins-
was in.
and
pure
Kirk would be the
powers.
reason that they would lose. He would be the reason. So, yeah, they're better off moving on because they're not going to win a Super Bowl anyways. That's the only reason you play the game is to win the Super Bowl.
Like
Yeah.
it would suck if you already had re-signed Kirk, but Kirk was going to hit free agency.
Yeah, he was leaving.
And he
So
was
where do you
going-
want to see him then? There's going to be a QB carousel next year, as we talked about with who came on last week. Ari was a big proponent of that.
Where do you want to see Kirk Cousins? That's the
Yeah.
question. It's a great question.
2 QB system
Ooh,
for the
that-
Jets.
Atlanta.
Where do I want to
Honestly,
see
Atlanta
Kirk?
wouldn't be too bad.
It's also crazy that the Jets had interest in. Jets got one quarterback. He tears his Achilles. The Jets have interest in another quarterback, even though they weren't going to trade him. Like there were rumors, tears his Achilles as well.
That's
Also, is
crazy.
this
I
the
didn't
year
think
of
about
tearing
that.
Achilles? I feel like there's a lot of Achilles tears this year.
Yeah,
The
it's-
Jets
feels
also
more
just had
recent.
one. Yeah. We need like
Jets
a.
did have the Aaron
Should we get a
Rodgers one,
doctor
yeah.
on the pod to talk about why Achilles injuries are more prominent this year? I think
Bad
so.
turf and what have you?
What have you?
You know,
What have you?
Where would you want to see Kirk
Mayhaps.
Cousins?
I
I really don't know.
where would I want to see Kirk?
Chicago.
New Orleans or some shit. I don't know.
It's the same with Derek Carr. It feels like.
I don't give a fuck.
No, he's
No,
better than
he's better
Derek
than
Carr,
Derek
bro.
Carr. Yeah,
Don't.
yeah, yeah.
Bro, there was a
don't
long
do
period
that
of time
take,
where
like,
There
Derek
was
Carr
a
and
year.
Kirk
It was
Cousins,
2 years. You're
they
right.
were the
I
same.
remember.
they were the
the
same
same.
quarterback.
That is
But that
Right.
narrative
They
is
were
shifted.
12 and 13 or around
Kirk
there.
Cousins kept going. Derek Carr.
I
fell
agree
off.
with you. I'm just saying Kirk Cousins off of an Achilles injury might be the exact same as Derek Carr. So that's not doing anything. The Saints also need to blow it up.
I feel like if you put Derek Carr, fuck,
Atlanta?
I'm just trying to think of like
Atlanta.
places where he would really, really help. Like I honestly,
Bring him back to Washington.
if he went to Green Bay, could be
Kirk?
something. Yeah, I couldn't see
Send
him in
Kirk
Green
back
Bay,
to
but
Washington. Honestly,
I don't mind that.
I think that would
Actually,
be good.
yeah,
That'd be kind of
that's
I
the
don't
best
mind that.
move,
Yeah.
Even though
probably.
Sam Howell balled yesterday. Let's not take it away from
Against the
him,
Eagles, top 3 quarterback. Against
Yeah.
everyone else, one of the worst
Bottom
quarterbacks.
bottom
three.
one.
Yep.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yep.
Washington. Let's go on. Washington.
I just think,
Washington.
just going back to the Vikings, I think they need Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
All right, Jack. It's time.
sorry.
All right, let's talk about the Cowboys. Big
What
win yesterday, Felipe.
Is,
Congratulations.
what is the
Appreciate it.
problem in San Francisco?
Give me an overreaction.
There's a few problems. The Niners secondary is made of a bunch of fucking middle schoolers who can't cover shit.
Middle schoolers.
It's not great, but
Shout out middle school.
Not
I will say I'm genuinely concerned about Brock Purdy.
Generally
right now.
concerned.
Genuinely concerned about Brock Purdy. I don't like the last couple games he's played very, very well, except for like just a few plays here and there at the end. But the interceptions that Brock Purdy has thrown in the last 3 games, thrown 5 of them in the last 3 games, every single one has come at such an inopportune time.
Good word.
Like literally, like you're driving, you're within the 15-yard line, you're about to go tie it up, throw a fucking stupid ass pick on a little screen pass that's not there, throw it away. The one yesterday too, it's right over the middle. I don't understand how you can possibly read that your wide receiver is not open. There's a fucking linebacker right there ready to pick it off. I don't know how you
Don't see that.
you don't see that. The last 2 drives of the game against the Vikings, interceptions, just back-breaking interceptions that are going to lose the game for you. Brock Purdy, I love the kid. Huge fan still, and I still believe in him, but he's such a confidence quarterback at this point, like a confidence player. If he's not right mentally, that's not even has to do with the concussion, just in general, like confidence-wise, he's not going to play well. And I feel like he's pressing so hard right now because up until that first loss he's ever had in his career, he's obviously never lost in the NFL. His confidence is sky high. And ever since then, he's been making shit-ass decisions, making horrible. It's tough.
Well,
I don't know.
Glad you
he's gonna
said
be
that
able to-
because I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That it's entirely a confidence game for Brock Purdy. Like we've said, we don't know what we hadn't seen him mess up basically throughout the
Yeah.
first whatever it was.
These
10
3
games
losses
of his
are
career.
entirely on Brock.
And then
My
now he finally starts to skid, and one of the one of the hardest parts about being a quarterback is being able to maintain your mental and like get right when you fuck up. So
yeah,
if he can't do that,
Well, I think
he's not going to be sustainable.
he's played great games aside from just these couple fucking interceptions, but those cost you the game at the end of the day when you're playing against good teams.
Well, let me
get
ask
close
you a
games.
question.
Like,
Is it like, do you think that Brock Purdy can potentially actually be concussed and making those decisions?
Wait, what?
it's
Is
possible,
he?
but I'm not going to give that excuse. I'm
Oh,
not,
he was.
Well,
hurt?
I think it's an incredibly fair excuse because
'Cause-
I saw last year,
I
and I think
understand
it's
what you're saying,
it's
but
it's like there's context to it, and there was
No,
that
but
one
he
play
was-
in the game, bro.
he
There was
was-
one play in the game where Brock Purdy's head snapped back on the field, and he
that was
grabbed.
dude. That was
he
like
grabbed.
that
that
was
was like
second to
the
last play of the
very
game.
last one of
But
the
he
last plays of
grabbed.
the game.
I'm not saying about coming back. I'm saying he grabbed his head, and so like
Yeah,
he
because
was
he
in
got
concussion protocol last week. I just think he hasn't looked the same for a reason. Now, granted, against the
No,
Vikings
he
was
looked.
one thing.
He looked.
He
He
has
looked, good.
not-
He looked good up until those
he has,
picks.
what, 3 touchdowns, 5 INTs over the last 3 games?
Yeah,
Not great.
not great. He threw his 364 yards yesterday.
Yeah, but 100 of those yards were in garbage.
No, not
Like
100.
100.
Like
80
50 of them.
On the last drive, it was like
It was like 50.
it might have been like 80.
It was like 50.
It doesn't
He
matter though.
rolled
I
it
mean,
downfield,
I mean,
but yeah.
five picks in the last 3 weeks. The thing about the Niners is they had their Super Bowl in Week 5. They played Dallas. They're waiting all the whole offseason to play Dallas.
man.
Dallas is just worried about the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're worried about playing the Dallas Mavericks, first of all. But Dallas, we're thinking about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl or bust every year for us. The Niners, they don't care about the Super Bowl. They just want to be Dallas. Dallas is their Super Bowl. They go out, they kick the living shit out of Dallas. And then after that, guess what? They go and play PJ Walker, PJ Tucker,
Walker.
whatever is the fucking
PJ
name
Tucker.
is. They lose to him. They go and play primetime Kirk. Vikings were like 1 in like 75 at the time. Lose to him.
Christian Kirk.
And then they go in and play Joe Burrow and the Bengals, who are hot. I think we need to consider that angle as well because the Bengals are actually
By the
back.
way, the Bengals are
Bengals are back. We're gonna
The
get to
Bengals
that.
are back.
Yeah.
And they lose that. So I just think it comes down to, you put all your eggs into one basket to go beat the Cowboys. You do it. Now you're exhausted. You lost everything.
No more eggs.
Trent Williams is hurt. Debo's hurt. Obviously, Brock without his supporting cast. We could say it's safe to say at this point that he's not the same. He needs those guys, as do a lot of quarterbacks. When Dak lost to the Cardinals, his whole offensive line was hurt. He doesn't get a pass. Other guys, some get passes, others don't.
I'm not giving Brock a pass.
I think he gets more of a pass than Dak because he's younger, and I think he has more.
I don't think he's really
deserves
getting
it.
a pass right now. People are shitting on him.
Well,
People
Well, I think what Felipe is trying to say is that
people
he
were
should get a
waiting
pass.
for Brock Purdy to have bad
Well, I
games.
think what Felipe
No,
is
but
trying
the
to say
difference-
is that he should get a pass.
I'm saying, yeah, he should get a pass than like other
Oh.
quarterbacks than like.
He should. I agree. I was
I-
going to say the difference though is that nobody's expecting Brock Purdy to be great by himself, but people are expecting Dak to be good
Ye-
by himself.
yeah,
like
yeah.
he was an MVP candidate, Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
so
at
like,
one point.
there's
So-
a difference. If Dak fucks up, he sucks. If
Yeah.
Brock
Also
Purdy
Cowboys
fucks up, it's like, okay, we already knew he sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And look, if Brock was the Cowboys quarterback, it'd be the same thing. But at the end of the day, I don't think Brock. It's not all on Brock. Brock has a chance to kind of get right, and we have to consider the other angle that the Bengals they're pretty fucking good. So
Well, also, like, I don't know, Nick Bosa met Kim Kardashian for when probably a few months ago when they decided he would be one of the Skims models,
Looks
the
good,
NFL spokesperson, and she cursed him. He sucks.
Well, that's what Kim
He got
does.
the bag from Skims. He got the bag from the 49ers, and
Skims
he's
curse.
just nowhere to be
it's
seen.
the classic case of the Skims curse.
It's the Skims,
It's a classic
Kim
Kim
Kardashian.
curse.
It's a classic Kim Kardashian curse.
Yep.
We all know about it. We all
Yep.
know it's prevalent. We just didn't know it was prevalent.
Did Brock
until a couple
Purdy
weeks ago.
fuck Kim Kardashian?
Whoa, what?
Oh,
I'm just-
Is that
you
people
always
are-
go down to like sex in some way.
I'm
No, I'm saying because Nick met Kim and then she cursed the team.
no, I get it. I'm just saying I'm taking
Yeah.
a step further. Did she also visit
No,
Brock?
I don't think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Let's talk
Even
about
though
the
it is
other
close,
teams of the
but-
NFC West,
Well, I think,
shall
bro,
we?
hold on. San Francisco, you don't have Trent Williams. Like that's a big. We got to. You brought this up. We got to talk about Trent Williams being one of the best players in the National Football League
He's so
because of his
important, bro.
impact on this team. Like we are not talking about that enough for San Francisco. I agree. Cincinnati is hot. They look great. The bye couldn't have come at a better time. So
For San Fran, Frisco has the bye coming up.
Yeah, Frisco got the bye, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude,
Nice.
And then,
Not
we go to Jacksonville, Duval.
I'm not too worried about the Niners, even though now they are second in their division. The Seahawks officially
hate
are the
that.
leaders of the
I
NFC West at
fucking
this
hate
point.
that.
We're going to talk about that right now.
But if you had to pick two teams, like one of those teams right
San
now to
Francisco.
go with, you're going with the Niners.
Yeah.
I think there's just so much talent there. I don't know what the deal with Williams in the long term, Trent Williams. If he does end up coming back,
I think
then-
him and Debo, from what it seems like, they should be back after the bye, but I have no idea how much lingering it is.
so that'll be good. And then the Niners are going to be okay. Like we've seen their highs, and now I think we've seen their lows. I don't think they're going to get much lower than right now, 3-game losing
Yeah.
streak. But
I mean, the last time the Niners had a 3-game losing streak, they went to the Super Bowl. So it's all right.
Let's bring it to the
Okay.
Seahawks for a second. Are the Seahawks going to win this division?
No,
They could.
they
Could.
could.
They
My ball
won't.
should be my uncle. Like
No, I think the Niners are still the best team in the division.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they'll
the
win.
Seahawks aren't beating the shit out of anyone, right?
That's
like
true.
they haven't had any huge statement, beat the fuck out of a good team type of win.
Yeah.
The Niners have done that when like the Cowboys are a very, very good football team, and we throttle cocked them.
Also, if you
That was a great win. I don't think the Seahawks have had that yet, even though they've proven they can win close games, which is very important. I don't think they're a dominant football team enough to be able to overtake the 49ers.
well, if a football game was only played with like 59 minutes and 17 seconds, like if you subtracted 45 seconds from the game, the Seahawks lost.
That doesn't
They've
matter.
done that
So,
that'd be
just
multiple
saying-
times this year. Then.
Just saying,
Yeah.
if
Same with
we
the
did want to
Giants.
take, well, no, you guys
The
would be
Giants,
winners.
The Giants would, well, yeah, exactly. I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And the Seahawks would
if
be
you had
losers.
subtractive, yeah, but that's just not how football works.
Yeah, of course it
Giants
is,
had
man.
balls.
Of course, man.
She'd
The
be
game
my
is not a
uncle.
60-minute game. It's a 59-minute,
What?
59-minute, 17
No, that's your
second
sex game, bro.
Nice. Hey,
Yes.
always comes
That's a
back
good
to
sex joke, Adam.
There
You
we
start
go.
trying to do those.
Oh no, the Niners are a much better team than the Seahawks. But because I predicted the Seahawks to win this division just to have some fun before the year, I hope the Seahawks win. But I don't think it happens. But it'd be cool.
Geno Smith 0-3 against the 49ers last year. So he's got to come through us first.
Geno's
we got to play
actually-
y'all twice.
He's also
So,
playing bad. Bad game yesterday.
He's been playing bad.
Eugene.
Except
back
against
down to
Cardinals.
earth.
Great throw. One
What
throw.
about-
Did I saw it?
Against
Great
the
throw.
Cardinals, hell of a throw.
That's Trey McBride right in the middle between four defenders. Wonderful.
The Seahawks aren't winning the NFC West.
Let's talk about your team now.
Woo!
The Dallas Cowboys.
Appreciate
What's
that.
an overreaction or underreaction coming out of Week 8?
See Lamb's greatest receiver we've ever seen, bro.
Overreaction is
Dak
that
Prescott is Himothy.
Dak played great.
underreaction. Overreaction is that the Cowboys are the best team in the league. I feel like you could go out on a stretch and I feel like you could make an argument for it because the Chiefs lost, who were a lot of people's number one, my number one. Actually, you can't because the Eagles are there. But even still, like I guess an overreaction would be the Cowboys are now better than the 49ers are like the second best team in the NFC. I still don't think they are.
It'd be wild though, because like there's only a way to figure out which team was better, right? Like if you
But it doesn't work like
played
that because-
against each other.
But then the Bengals are
A game, if
but
you
then the
played a
Bengals are
game
worse
to
than like
see.
some horrible teams that they lost to this year. So it doesn't work like that.
I feel like that'd be a good barometer though, no?
Would it?
One would think. Yeah,
So
that is
if-
a good way to determine who the better team is.
So
yeah.
are the who's better, the Niners or the Vikings?
Clearly the Vikings.
All right, I mean, if you want to go on that, end, sorry, right? Like the Niners or the Browns, who's better, right? Like,
Clearly the Cleveland Browns. I mean, it's obvious.
Spinning backs right now.
but I just think that's like this a stretch to say at this point that the Cowboys are so good. We've seen these highs, and it's cool to see these highs against great defenses. You go against the Jets, who have beat good teams, and you fucking throttle clock them, as Jack likes to say.
Fun term.
You go in and destroy the Patriots,
Also a
who
fun time.
beat the Bills and like other teams. Great. So you have, against good defenses,
Statement
you have good wins,
Yeah.
and you have it again this past week. But you've also had a couple bad losses, and I know there's been injuries and everything like that. But at the end of the day, like those, you're still gonna look back at those losses and say, when is that gonna come back, right? Like when is that? Because you've seen it, so now you know it can happen. So when is that gonna haunt you at any point in the season? It could be in the playoffs. It could be later in the year when you're fighting for a 1 or 2 seed. And so I just don't think you can overreact over this win because we've already seen it, but we've also seen the lows.
Well, I think the thing with the Cowboys also is that from the top 3 teams in the NFC, they might have the highest ceiling, if not like at least the second highest ceiling, but the lowest floor. And that's, I think, what you're trying to say, right? Like the
Yeah, I think so.
like the disparity
so, yeah.
between like the Cowboys at like their high is this elite level team that like defensively they're creating turnovers. Like Dak looks good. They're getting the ball to CD, and like we haven't even seen anything from Tony Pollard, and yet they still don't have a healthy O line. But then at their fucking floor, they look terrible and they shit the bed, and Dak doesn't look good, and McCarthy can't coach. Like there's so like it feels like it can go either which way. But at least with the Niners and the Eagles, like there's a lot more consistency, and those floors are a lot higher, so that you expect them to win. But the Cowboys, man, like if they can figure it out with CD, if Tony Pollard can get going, like they are a deadly team, even without Trayvon Diggs. Like that defense looks fucking good. Deron Bland has 3 pick sixes this year. That's the most in a season since 2020. If he ties the record and gets one more, like
So who had it in 2020? Because I don't think
Only
there
3
was
years
no
ago.
one in 2020.
you just said it was so who had it in 2019?
Oh, I have no fucking clue.
Okay.
I just saw it was 2020, 21, 22,
I want to know
23.
the last guy.
There
to
were
do it.
no.
Interesting.
But like the record's 4 in a season. So
Yeah.
he's one away from doing that. The Cowboys, man, like
Well, you know
This
what's was very bright yesterday? This is, I think, like not overreacting at all because I think we've been overreact. I think it's proper reaction to Mike McCarthy being terrible all year. But yesterday, Mike McCarthy looked amazing. He called an amazing game. Dak he looked so in rhythm. The offense looked good. He finally targets CD a lot.
High ceiling, low
And
floor.
if you see, yes, but with coaching, you hadn't seen even like a good ceiling offensively.
I agree.
And now you've seen it. And coaching is as much a rhythm game as quarterbacking is, right? Like McDaniel gets in the rhythm, calling plays offensively, guys like that, or Shanahan or whatever. And Mike McCarthy was in his bag yesterday. He was going in and calling good plays, and Dak was fucking dicing them up, 300 plus, 4 touchdowns. If this stays consistent,
Pretty
if
good.
McCarthy can stay on the rhythm, this Cowboys team is the most dangerous team in the league.
You think the Okay.
If McCarthy is coaching like
Because
he did
the
yesterday,
defense? Is it because
the team has been bad and the offense has been bad in certain games because McCarthy has been so horrible. The defense can't make up for horrible offensive play, especially when you're just punting it all the time. And so if McCarthy can coach to this level that he did yesterday, then this team is dangerous.
Well, I think also the biggest thing the second conversation we talked about was Aaron Jones and your coach not putting your best player in a position to succeed. The biggest difference over these last 2 weeks, it feels like you're giving the best player on your offense the ball.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, you're moving him around everywhere. He's not just on the outside. And everything is playing off of that. Brandon Cooks looks better, right? Like Tony Pollard hasn't been there, but Dak looks better. So you give the best player the ball, good things happen. So I think Mike McCarthy, I agree. Credit to him. It was a good game.
Yeah, good for them. So you would credit that win more to Mike McCarthy than to Dak?
I credit to the defense.
Mike McCarthy has been holding back Dak. So now McCarthy's good and Dak goes off. I credit more McCarthy because I know what Dak can do. I hadn't seen McCarthy do that yet.
Feel you. Let's move into some AFC teams. Let's talk about the Titans. Will Mayo Levis.
Mayo Levis.
I mean, it was always the Will Levis revenge game.
It was.
It was no doubt going to happen after he broke up or his girlfriend broke up with him. There's
that
no
what
doubt
happened?
about that. Oh,
Whatever.
yeah.
Did she break up with him?
Apparently, she dumped him.
Oh, he
Morgan
slid to
Wallen.
that second round.
The streets are saying, I'm not saying this is.
He slid to the second round, and
rumor
she was
mill that
like,
I've
"No
seen
more."
Well, you're close to the streets. So
Through yes, I am a member of the streets. From what I've seen and heard and what have you, picked up on,
what have you?
is that she attended a Morgan Wallen concert, went backstage. Next day, see you, Will.
Morgan Wallen
So of
swooped
course,
in.
Will threw for 4 fucking tutties.
Swooped.
Just incredible stuff. We love to see it. So good for him. She still belongs to those same streets that I heard those rumors from.
Nice.
Obviously.
So because
Still
of the breakup, is Will Levis the best quarterback from this draft class?
He's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Obviously.
Yeah. Oh.
You guys really are underrating the power of
You're right. You're right. By the
shitty
way, one game
fucking
sample
breakup.
size, 4 touchdowns
Like-
for like 300 yards, right? So how no one else has had. He could stop his career right now, be the greatest of all time.
I mean, he's on a crazy pace. Was it 4 touchdowns he threw?
4 touchdowns.
3 to D-Hop? Yeah, he looked good, man. Nobody on the Titans, nobody that's quarterback for the Titans has looked like that in the past few years. Like Tannehill's had good games,
Bro,
but he
who was
hasn't
the
just
last
aired
one?
it out like that.
No,
Who's the
Levis
last
is
one? Like
exciting.
Steve McNair? I'm trying to think like the last like exciting ass Tennessee
And
quarterback.
Vince Young had like a solid,
rookie year,
decent
he
little
was really
stretch.
good.
I mean, the
but-
thing with Will Levis, though, is there were throws that he made that looked like an
Awesome.
NFL starting quarterback.
Oh, he
Dude,
was
he had
flicking
that-
the wrist.
He had
that
that one,
one
yeah.
flick
We were all
left.
watching him like, dude, he just flicked that 60
Oh my God.
yards.
He was rolling
Like,
right a little bit.
yeah.
It seemed like off his
Just-
back foot.
Yeah,
Dude,
he
Will
didn't even
Levis
have to
looked
plan it
good.
that hard. He just
I
Will
think
Levis finished with 238 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 130.5 passer.
There's
rating.
also
what was
a
his completion? Like what for what?
19 of 29. Pretty good.
Dude, that's I mean, that's not incredible.
D-Hop had
It's
4
fine.
receptions for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns.
there might be life in Tennessee.
Derrick Henry rushed for 100 yards too. so
I feel
on
like what they were
22
missing
carries.
was a guy that could like
That's solid.
actually
Yeah.
challenge a defense vertically, like
Yeah.
a quarterback. Because Tannehill was never going to do that. He was going to dink and dunk, but he's never going to turn it over type of deal.
But I will say this, like Will Levis's performance should not change the Tennessee Titans at the deadline. They said Derrick Henry's not being traded. They said D-Hop's not being traded. You are nowhere to compete. The Jags are going to win that division. The Titans aren't going to make the playoffs.
I don't
Even
know,
if you
man.
did make the playoffs,
You know
I
what
don't
it-
think you're making any sort of noise
Titans
in the
got- I'm
playoffs.
looking at
How
the
long is
Titans
Tannehill out
schedule.
for?
Doesn't matter. He's never coming back.
I'm looking
But I'm saying it might change what they do at the deadline with him. He might get shopped to the New York Jets, something
Vikings.
like
the
Vikings.
Vikings.
If
Yeah,
you're
I
if
don't
they're not
know.
going to punt on the season, the Vikings should.
I don't know.
The
Like,
Titans have a relatively easy schedule coming up. They got the Steelers, the Bucks, the Jags, the Panthers, the Colts. Like,
It's nice.
there's some time for them to get Will Levis rolling.
Yeah, but the
All
problem
winnable.
is if we look back on the 3 past games outside of the Bengals with the fucking 49ers, we would have said they would have been 3-0 or 2-1, and now they're 0-3. They've lost 3 straight. The Jets have won 3 straight.
Okay, yeah,
They're gonna
sure.
beat the Eagles.
Any
There's
given
gonna be
Sunday,
losses.
any given Sunday, fine. But I'm just saying, like, those are teams that, like, they could, like I said, they could get Will Levis rolling if he gets the confidence early on.
Fighting Mike Vrabels will always be in a game. They're not.
That's
They're
the
never
thing.
going to be a tank season bad team. Like,
Do you think in the long run that Will Levis can legitimately be the best quarterback from this draft class?
Absolutely.
Sure, he's got all the arm
Or
talent.
do you
in the
think
world to do
CJ
it.
Stroud will be better? Or
I mean, Levis
CJ
could
Stroud
be.
is by far the best.
Levis could be.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, it depends. Do him and his girlfriend find their way back together?
no.
You know,
No.
it
But
is-
that doesn't help.
No,
him.
no. He's going to upgrade. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about
it'll
Mr.
be
Will
hard.
Levis living in Nashville,
Is-
slinging it, starting
Yeah,
quarterback.
he'll be all right.
Slinging what?
He'll be just fine.
He'll be
man.
okay.
Up
So
for
Will Levis is the best
interpretation.
quarterback from the draft class. We
For
learned that.
interpretation.
No.
We learned that.
It might be a good. What it might end up being is just a really good draft class overall, though.
that I
Like
agree
that
with.
Mahomes, Deshaun Watson class. R.I.P. Deshaun Watson.
On the field.
On the field, yeah. But no, I think he's got the tangibles to be able.
He
to
does
do
have
that. Yep.
tangibles, good abs.
Good abs. He's got a nice bicep tattoo. You see every time he
I
throws
think it
the
says
football.
second
Yeah.
regiment.
I don't know what it is, but it's cool.
I saw, yep.
Yeah,
It is cool.
I don't know what this
got a good
yeah,
jawline.
Good jawline.
Yeah,
Handsome.
I think
Vital.
He's a handsome
Vital.
Yeah.
That's vital for being.
I
an
think when
NFL
we did
quarterback.
our build your quarterback draft,
You did?
I picked Will Levis's physique.
You
You
did.
did. You did.
It's a hell of a
Great
physique.
physique.
He's action figure esque.
Yeah, he
sure.
is. He is.
For
He is.
sure.
I'd love to look like him one day.
I believe in you.
Speaking of guys who aren't entirely action figure esque, but is a beast, Patrick Mahomes
Yeah, he sucks. He's worst quarterback.
Yeah,
sucks.
Played sick.
He's great.
Mm.
He
Played
did.
sick.
Played
Yeah.
sick.
Blue
Blue
game.
game.
That's
Jordan-
true. Are we
Jordan
concerned
played well.
about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at all?
Never. Never.
Never,
Last
never,
year they lost to
never.
the Colts when the Colts were fucking garbage with Matt Ryan. That was the worst team in the league last year. And
I forgot Matt Ryan was in the league just last season.
yeah, it
That's
was
crazy.
insane. And like
Actually, so weird.
every team loses in certain games, and it's a divisional game. Like it's easier to lose those. I was gonna call him Matt Ryan. Now, what's his name? Patrick Mahomes was sick. I'm not worried.
5 turnovers though is a bit worrisome. But it's the thing is like
He's had those
so
games. Though.
like I guess I'm bringing it back to Brock. I'm pulling what we
No, you
always
do-
do.
do your
Bring it
thing.
back to what we like. Like how what I've said with like Brock is like he'll have a bad game and he hasn't been able to recover from that and have a good game bounce back after. We know with Mahomes, if we see one game like this, none of
He
us
will.
are worried at all, right?
No.
Are we
Yeah.
worried whatsoever? Because you know he's gonna come back next week and ball the fuck out.
They're gonna get him on
It's
IV,
fine.
get him his flu shot. Like, you know,
Dude, even if he's sick again next week, he's still gonna play well.
couple
Like, it
day
doesn't matter.
quills.
I'm a little worried though. Do we need Taylor Swift to be at games for them to have success? For your tight end to have success?
I did see the stat. He
they
averaging
showed it on TV.
averaging
That was
only
crazy.
49 yards
Balling
per
with
game
Taylor
with
there.
her with their not at the game. But think about it, like when you're in high school and stuff, like you got your girl coming to your game, you're gonna play better.
No,
Obviously.
100%. But she
Yeah.
can't go to every game.
Yeah, but I didn't think it
When
would.
does her
I didn't
tour
think that
start?
would ever translate to this level.
When does
Oh, it's still
This scope.
her
you
world
know what?
tour- When does her
we're all
world tour-
driven by a
yeah.
different head. All right. We all are at the end of the day. It's only nature.
I think the
So-
world tour starts in November. Let's
Yeah,
look.
can we confirm when the world tour starts?
Eras
I
tour
thought you said it was after the Super Bowl.
Europe.
I want to say it's about in the winter time. 2024. I know that.
When does it start? What do you see?
Taylor
Matan? What do you
Swift
see?
International Tour. Look that up.
Not until March, it seems.
Oh,
All right, all right. He's
okay.
good.
So yeah, they'll win the
He's good
Super
to go.
Bowl.
March
Chiefs will be
17th.
fine.
He'll be accompanying her probably.
Hold on, hold
Yeah,
on, hold on.
yeah.
Around the world.
We gotta-
Nope, just
we-
kidding.
nope,
Just kidding. That's
just
wrong.
kidding.
Because
Here we
March
go.
23
Oh,
already
jeez.
passed.
March
So
23 did pass.
Please
That's when
hold, please
probably
hold.
The tour started. The full tour. Here we go.
November 9th
November
in
9th.
Oh.
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires.
That's fine.
Wow.
Shit.
Let's
Should we take a
all right,
pod
wait, wait.
trip?
Let's look at the Chiefs schedule when the Eras International Tour starts. All right.
It starts on November 9th. Today's October 30th.
All right. So the fifth Chiefs Dolphins, they'll win that one, right?
Well,
Oh boy.
still good
November,
roster
but then they have a
eventually.
bye. They have a bye. November 20th, Chiefs Eagles. Bad time for Taylor Swift not to be around in Kansas City. She's been at
especially
every
as,
game in KC.
especially as an Eagles fan.
That's tough. That's tough. They actually have a pretty
Ooh,
easy schedule. most of
ooh.
the way, but-
By the way, the Super Bowl is February 11th. She has a show in Tokyo on February 10th, but then there's a 6-day break between the 10th and the 16th. So if the Chiefs are at the Super Bowl, she
Bro,
could, in
it
theory,
takes like 14
She's
hours.
got a lot
to
of
get
money.
from Tokyo.
a lot of
to
money, a lot of
fucking
PJs
Vegas.
out there. She can hop on her private
I
jet.
don't care what PJ you
Fly
can
to-
hop on. Not
fly
even
to
fucking Air
Vegas.
Force One could get you there faster than 14 hours or whatever.
Yeah,
it
you're
is.
right. You're right.
That's
you're
crazy. Yeah, I think The one thing I'd say about the Chiefs,
There's only
although you shouldn't be
117 tickets
concerned
remaining.
about them, is that can we please finally get Patrick Mahomes some help outside of Travis Kelce?
That's fair.
Like Rashee Rice looks great,
Thanks.
Texas.
Appreciate that.
but I would love to see him as my wide receiver 2.
That's fair.
I
But
would
eventually,
love-
wide receiver 1.
Yes,
Eventually,
absolutely,
number 1
absolutely.
receiver
But right
in the league.
now,
I just think
let
Patrick,
him build.
I get it. We always say Patrick Mahomes doesn't need weapons, yada, yada. He has Kelce. Let's get Patrick Mahomes some help. Because I do think this style, relying on Patrick Mahomes to be Superman doesn't feel sustainable. I know he's been Superman, but eventually Superman, Clark Kent found that kryptonite. And
Bro,
it didn't
we-
work out
There you go,
every
good
time.
job.
I'm sorry to
you.
bring it back to Taylor Swift for a
Where are we
second,
going?
but we would be making money buying a ticket to these Europe tours. Because think about how much it was to go to a MetLife Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like $1,000. It's not even $100 at some of these.
What?
What?
In Brazil? $75 for
But the flight,
yeah, obviously.
Still
No,
cheaper than going to MetLife, probably.
$75 in Rio.
My cousin spent 30,000.
On a
What?
wait, 3,000.
What?
Maybe 3,000. No way they're spending
Well,
30,000.
30,000 is 5 to 1. The dollar to the how, which is
Okay.
their money.
All right.
But that would mean it's
okay.
still
6K?
6K.
I don't
Now,
know.
she
I don't know
probably
what
got like VIP shits.
I don't know what to
Yeah,
tell you. I'm
probably.
looking right here at the show in Rio on November 17th.
I will say-
$75.
I will say it was a little
That don't
corny
make sense to me.
that the Broncos are playing Shake It Off after the game. But it's to be expected when
Yeah,
Russell Wilson
it's
is
They
your
were
gonna
playing
quarterback.
that? Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
It's
That's
just a
funny.
little
It's
corny.
funny.
It is a little corny.
No,
but
but
sure.
quarterback's Russell Wilson.
That's what I just said.
You
yeah.
did just say that,
It
dude.
makes sense.
Hey, shout out to you for saying that.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out to
So
you for
yeah,
saying
Patrick
that.
Mahomes needs some help. That's how I feel. I do feel that way.
Yeah.
But he needed help last year.
Yeah, but as a fan of a
And he
team
still
that
won a
might play them in the
championship.
Super Bowl, I'm good. He can stay with. He's got a great roster right now. They should just
Yeah.
keep that.
Good point.
Yeah, Rasheed.
Yeah.
All right, last team to talk about. We talked about your Niners.
Yeah, we
who
did.
lost to
We did talk about that.
the Bengals.
Yeah.
Bengals
What's
are
it-
fucking.
Overreaction or anything from the Bengals? What's your biggest takeaway?
Jack was right for not overreacting after the first couple.
What'd you say before though?
Oh, I said that I said
Bengals.
a few weeks ago, like when the Bengals were really bad and everyone shit on them, I was like, they'll be fine,
And
and they're fine.
Bengals.
The Bengals are fucking back, dude.
Yeah, they are.
Joe Burrow's looking healthy as hell. I knew the game was over for the Niners as soon as I saw him like break a fucking tackle from Nick
Oh,
Bosa in the
yeah.
backfield, spin away from it, run around, fucking complete a 40-yard bomb. I'm like, all right, yeah, his ankle's fine. He's all right.
Wasn't that in the first quarter?
Yeah, it was like
I was saying, you thought the game was over immediately?
yeah. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, well, we're fucked.
You were like, oh, Joey, cool.
You know, I'm
That's
a
way
big
too
pessimist, honestly. Like when
It's
I'm
fun
watching
being a
games.
pessimist. Only ways up.
But yeah, no, that play was crazy. Joe Burrow's back. Jamar Chase looks fucking awesome ever since he said he's always open. He's always fucking open.
Yeah, that division's going to come down to the wire, I think. I mean, obviously, it's going to be between the Ravens and Bengals. It's going to be fun. That next Ravens-Bengals matchup is
I'm
going to be
glad it's as
gonna be
exciting
fun.
as we had hoped.
Yes.
Honestly,
Weirdly, the Steelers are right there too. Same with the Browns.
Same with the
Like,
Browns. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Who's
true.
going to actually win that division?
there might only be one team from that division that makes the playoffs because they're all just going to beat up on each other. The AFC North
Like
is
the
just a
Bengals,
gauntlet.
I agree the Bengals are back, but in some aspects, like the play calling, I still think is going to end up coming to bite them in the ass.
It looked pretty good yesterday.
Well, when it works, yeah, but
What do
it
you mean when
didn't
it
work for the
works?
first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. That the play calling has been bad. Zach Taylor's always been bad as a play caller.
But he was good yesterday.
No, I get it.
Are you
But
going to for being good yesterday, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
I
but
just
here's
said the
the thing,
Bengals
Zach
are
Taylor's
back. I
always-
think at some point it
Zach
could
Taylor's
come back
always
to
been
bite
a
them in the
bad play
ass.
caller, but what was holding them back earlier this year was Joe Burrow wasn't
Burrow.
able to make those plays and be mobile. Now he's healthy. He's back. He looks incredible. He looks
No,
like
he
the
looks
guy that we
great.
knew he was.
He looks great. He
He's
looks
fine.
great.
I think the Bengals win that division. I think it's still their division to win. Till proven otherwise, right?
I
now.
agree.
Like
I
agree.
I mean, I could see it. It's not.
I don't know about proving otherwise.
proven otherwise. I mean, since every year that Joe Burrow has been healthy, they have won the division.
Did they? Well, I mean,
Yes.
they won last year, but Lamar Jackson
Year
was
before
hurt.
that,
The Ravens are 6-2, very quietly. That's all I have to say. MVP favorite.
He looks bad yesterday. He had like a 38.3 QBR. He did
It doesn't matter. They beat the Texans
The thing
by
is, no
20.
one- no
His
one's-
QBR was
I
like,
feel like
doesn't
no one
matter.
right now is like separating themselves from the
I
crowd.
agree with that.
MVP
I agree
wise.
with that. I agree with that.
The only one, like, if I had to give it right now, it is your boy.
It's Tua. Tua's the only
It's
one
Tua.
that.
He's the only one. He's only had one bad game. The rest of them have been awesome. Everyone else had at least
Tua.
a couple bad games.
Yeah, it's Tua. Actually, I'd like to see the rankings now, the odds, because Mahomes had a bad game.
Zev 2 is going to be one.
I would still
Brock's
put him favorite.
plummeted.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
unfortunate.
Josh Allen, if losing the Patriots, probably
Daniel Jones comeback season. Don't you worry.
There were some.
Let's.
But
Tommy
before
DeVito
we jump
MVP?
in- Before we jump into answering some comments, there were some crazy stats that happened in Week 8. I would like to
All
tell
right.
you about these.
Okay.
Oh,
So here's some mind-blowing stats from Week 8.
Thanks, bro.
So first of all, the 49ers are 0-36 when trailing by 8+ points in the fourth in the Kyle Shanahan era.
Oh, I've known that.
To
Yep.
take it a step further, they're 1-30 when trailing by 3+ points entering the fourth.
ooh.
That's wild.
I saw that.
Plus?
in their
3+
history.
in the Kyle
With
Shanahan
Kyle
era.
Shanahan.
Oh.
I've seen that tweet.
That's crazy.
That was
Next.
a fun one to
Lamar
to-
Jackson is 17-1 against the NFC in his career. That's the highest
Whoa.
win percentage
Damn.
versus the NFC by any quarterback since 1970.
It's pretty neat.
That is
It's kind of crazy.
neato.
Here's where it gets fun. We talked about Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce led the Chiefs with 58 yards receiving the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs in Week 2 of 2015. Travis Kelce led the Chiefs with 58 yards receiving in the loss to Denver yesterday.
That's crazy. That's one of the weird
That
things
makes
that
That's
happen.
weird.
That's so crazy.
It is-
Shout out CMC. CMC scored a touchdown in his 17th straight game, tied for the longest touchdown streak in NFL history. That's pretty crazy. We got
That's
a
pretty
17
nuts.
games.
Yeah, that's.
And last but
insane.
not least, credit to you, Matan. I'm sorry to bring up a stat about your Giants,
I'm
but we
impressed.
talked about this
These
one
are-
yesterday.
And the Knicks.
The Giants had less passing yards than Julius Randle had turnovers against the Pelicans on Saturday. Julius Randle had 8. The Giants had 7.
We also had the most combined punts in that game since 2003.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that Julius Randle had 8 turnovers or the fact that the Giants only had 7 passing
I
yards.
think
Oh,
the
there's
Giants-
one that's way worse.
Yeah.
yeah.
Seven passing yards in 2023 is
Julius Randle tends to do that.
He
So like you
does.
can get used
Eight's
to
a
that.
lot of
Yeah, but Danny
turnovers.
DeVito.
Danny DeVito, man.
That's
Hey,
crazy,
rushing
bro.
Teddy.
7 passing yards is insane.
The fact that it was less than an NBA amount of turnovers is also like just the
Dude,
context of that is crazy.
DeVito played for 2.5 quarters and he passed for -1 passing yard. He
Yeah.
completed
It
2
was those
passes
2 swing
for
passes. to
negative
Saquon,
yards.
I'm so sorry.
And Tyrod also played for a quarter and a half and only had 7 passing yards.
Bro,
Got some
under
comments.
183.5 lock.
We do have some comments. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're listening to your podcast, we do our Monday episode live at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So if you want to get in the comments with us and be a part of our show, be sure to tune in every Monday, and we'll answer some questions here. So let's see. What do we
I see a
got?
comment down below there. The first, I think it's the last one. It says, "Does the healthiest team make the Super Bowl?"
A lot of times, yeah.
The Eagles were the healthiest team last year.
They never had any injuries at all
Yeah.
last year. I feel
Yeah,
like.
yeah. It helps. That's why I said when the Cowboys got fucking clapped by the Niners, I was like, the only hope that the Cowboys have at this point after
The
looking
Niners
like
go
that is
down.
if the Niners go through some injuries.
What have we started to do?
Yeah, and you see what happens. Like as soon
Yeah.
as I said that, like, yeah, the Niners started going through some injuries and then they start losing. So
Yep.
I think health at the end of the day is probably the biggest factor.
Yeah,
Could be.
Yeah, and talent. You got to get hot at the right time, obviously. Like the Bengals. That,
Yeah, but you
that's
don't-
been
if
the
you don't
Bengals.
have-
but I think when
the
there's so much parity in the league like there is right now, this is the most parity we've seen in a long time because there's no team separating themselves from the pack. I don't
That I
think
agree
at all.
with. I agree with.
Like, because the Eagles have only one loss, but they haven't looked really dominant at all. I feel like this year, in my
Yeah,
opinion, at
no.
least. Besides that
Mm.
win over
Tampa.
your Dolphins and
Oh,
Tampa,
Well, that's why I
yeah.
actually think the
Miami,
Eagles
yeah.
are the best team right now. We're
But-
seeing their floor.
Yeah, their floor is still fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess. But
crazy.
when there is that much parity in the league like there is right now, health is probably the biggest factor. So if you're the Niners, get healthy, bro. Fuck. Goddamn.
I agree, though. I think the healthiest team usually makes it to the Super Bowl. Maybe not win, but makes it to the Super Bowl.
yeah.
But you got to be one of the elite teams. Like,
Yeah,
you can't just be the fucking
exactly.
Carolina Panthers and
Exactly.
be healthy.
Yeah.
Hey, no one's hurt though. Like,
That's
true.
true.
DJ Chark is still healthy.
We got any other comments? you wanna talk
Yeah, Kyle Saunders is asking score prediction for the biggest game of next week.
Cowboys, Eagles.
Cowboys Eagles.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
Hey, I'm on your time. I'm on your side, bro.
What do you got?
I'm on the
Here we
Cowboys
go.
too.
Yeah. I think the final score will be 38-17 Cowboys. Cowboys are gonna smoke the Eagles.
route.
They're gonna put the Eagles on notice, bro. Like this is not
Why
only
do you
our
feel that way?
division.
This is at Philly or
It's
Dallas?
not only our division, it's our conference. Dak is 8-3 against the Eagles.
Is it true
You're not
that-
scared of them?
Is it true that Dax never played Jalen Hurts?
That's also true.
I think that's true.
Yeah,
That's
he was
crazy.
hurt last year.
Yeah.
Minshew started, right?
One of them was hurt.
One
in
of
each
them was
those
hurt each-
games.
But the
Yeah,
year
yeah.
before,
The year
Dak
before,
was hurt.
Oh,
no,
that's
I think
exciting.
Hurts.
Hurts didn't start till like the last.
Hurts didn't
part
start
of
till the end of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Hurts didn't start the
Oh.
whole year that year.
So, just
Carson
out of
Wentz was
curiosity,
ass.
why do you think the Cowboys are going to smoke the Eagles?
Well, if Mike McCarthy calls plays like he did yesterday, like he did against the Rams,
Get into that
who's
rhythm.
a pretty good team. The Rams showed
Very
up
well
against
coached. Yeah.
very well coached teams. Mike McCarthy balled out yesterday, and he wasn't even on the field. That's dangerous, okay? Now, he goes against the Eagles, who also very well-coached team. Like, I don't like Sirianni. I think he's annoying and he's kind of a clown, but he's a great coach. He knows how to coach his team and put his guys in the right situations to win. But the Eagles' offense hasn't been great. They just haven't been great this year. A.J. Brown has looked good. Devontae cracked 100 yesterday, or right under like 99. So they're like, okay, but they're finally going to face a really fucking good defense. When they come to play, they come to play. Dallas's defense, obviously. Jalen Hurts leads the league in turnovers. I think somebody passed him yesterday, but he's second in turnovers, has 11 this year. Not great, okay? Deron Bland, you mentioned 3 pick sixes on the year. He's going to make it 4 against Jalen Hurts. He might make it 5. He might get 2 against Jalen Hurts.
Oh.
And so here's the only thing that can save the Eagles is their defense just making our offense look horrible and Mike McCarthy looking bad, and their defense wins the game for them. But I think McCarthy's starting to get hot.
In Dallas,
starting to get hot. Mind you, the last time the Cowboys were 3-2, the last time McCarthy was 3-2 was in Green Bay.
Green Bay.
The Packers won the Super Bowl.
Packers won the Super Bowl.
Of course.
3-2, Green Bay, Super Bowl. 3-2, Dallas, Super Bowl. Phillies on the hit list.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
Is this at the link or in Dallas?
I don't give a fuck. Dak is 8-3 against them. I don't know where it is.
Doesn't matter. Neutral site. It's in Germany.
Shaylee Rose is asking, how are we feeling about Jalen Ramsey's first game back?
Great.
He was good.
Was he actually good? Because I remember you said he was getting
Mac
cooked in the
Jones didn't
beginning.
even look to him. By the way, Jack just spit in my mouth from 4. I swallowed it, went down. Jalen Ramsey is going to change this Dolphins team.
He already had a pick?
Yeah, he had a pick.
Good for him, man.
Mac Jones didn't even look to his side. Now Xavier Howard can go from like 85th on PFF to like 37th.
At least 84th.
No, he can go up
Bro,
to
you
like
told
the
me he
top
was getting
60s.
cooked in the beginning, though.
Xavier Howard?
Yeah, no, Jalen.
No, I didn't.
You're like, yo, he looks
Mac
so
Jones
bad
didn't
right now.
Mac Jones threw to his side once, and that was the pick.
God,
I don't remember ever saying. I didn't even watch. I didn't even get to watch like the Dolphins game like that because we kept missing. Red zone wasn't working.
I'm gonna find it on the live stream.
Please do. If I said, I have no recollection of saying that. Jalen looked.
It was right after the Patriots scored, and you were like, "Oh, Jalen Ramsey looks so bad." And I was like, "Yeah, but that touchdown wasn't on Jalen Ramsey."
I literally have no recollection, but please find it.
Well, no,
I think
Ramsey's great though. Shout out.
I also think the same with the Dolphins have been playing at their floor, which is crazy to say.
Oh, shout out Kendrick Bourne, torn ACL. Apologies.
Not the right knee to explode that I expected out of the Patriots, but
you never know with the NFL.
All right, we're going to wrap up here, though. This has been the recaps episode. Happy
No other
end of
comments?
week 8.
There are no commies?
That Not really, and I got to pee really bad.
Mm,
So we're going to wrap, and this has been a great time, fellas. Thank you so much for doing this
Thank you.
This has
podcast.
been
guys.
awesome.
I'm so glad we
Have a
do
good
this
pee, brother.
podcast
As a
together.
reminder, tomorrow, if you're looking for fantasy advice, 10:30 a.m., Felipe and I will be talking fantasy. A lot of things happen. Calvin Ridley's back.
Oh, God. Don't
God.
tune in.
Kareem Hunt, RB1 again.
Do it again.
Oh, Matan got it.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Caps Off Podcast. See you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Fire Steve Wilkes. Let's start.